All right, so if you're a roofer who has an established business and maybe you're at 2.5 million, maybe you're at 3 million, maybe you're even at 10 million, regardless, you always will have one bottleneck, and that bottleneck is going to be marketing. All right, marketing is always going to be part of the process that you're trying to solve. You're going to need more leads. How do I get more leads? How do I keep scaling my company? How do I be as efficient as physically possible? Well, in this video, what I'm going to be covering is how you should create a proper marketing system, a properly functioning marketing system using Facebook and Instagram. So that's Meta. Now, this is the exact system that we deploy for our 80 plus clients right now. And all we talk around in our channel over here is how to go from the point of being at $2.5 million a year or $3 million a year all the way up to 10 million. And if you're already at 10 million, we talk about how to get to $50 million a year. Now, we don't make any income claims. I have no right of making an income claim for you. This is just a YouTube video. I don't know who you are, but I'm just going to be sharing the strategies that we use for our current clients, what they're doing successfully, and ultimately, what can you take away from this and how can you apply it to your business so you can ultimately get to your goals and where you want to be with meta advertising specifically. That's what we specialize in. If you don't know me, if you're new here, my name is Manny Asadi. I'm the sales director and co-founder here at RoofIgnite. And over the past 3 years, my partners and I have really changed the roofing marketing industry. And we've done so by just applying this exact strategy over and over, improving it, and making little adjustments to, again, make it ultimately the best version it could be. Now, the topic of the video, as it suggests, you're going to be seeing here, how to create properly functioning marketing systems. Write this on the top. Very good. Let's have a little red underline going over this. Then we'll proceed. Now, so there's mainly 3 parts when it comes to a properly functioning marketing system, especially when it comes to meta advertising. And that's exactly what I'm going to be breaking down for you guys in this video. The first part of the system typically comes down to the funnel style that you want to build and attract homeowners. Ideally, what we're trying to do, and the goal that we're trying to accomplish, let's just make that clear over here. I'm going to write this down. Our goal is very simple. Our goal is to get more qualified homeowners. That's our goal. That's what we're trying to achieve. Now, like I said, there's going to be 3 main parts to doing this, all right? We're going to write this down. Number 1. So what is this number 1 part? Well, the first part is going to be building yourself a good appointment funnel. In our company and our trademark, RoofIgnite, we call this our ad to lead qualification system. All right, so for that purpose, I'm going to write this down here. Let's go down a little bit. All right, ad to lead qualification system. Now, what does that mean? What does it entail of? And how do you deploy it? Well, first of all, you want to make sure you're on Meta. All right. Now, these principles apply on other advertising platforms, but generally what we've seen with home service-based contractors, specifically roofers, the most effective way of getting a good cost per acquisition is going to be Meta for you right now in your current position. I mean, honestly, regardless of what your revenue goals are and where you are right now, Meta is always a good one. So with this ad to lead qualification system, like it sounds, there's going to be 2 main parts to it, which I'm going to write down for you. There's going to be part A, and then give it a little bit of space. There's going to be part B. Okay, cool. So what is part A? Well, part A is going to be your ads, all right? Like it sounds. There's your advertising. Now, anytime you're running ads have 2 main parts to them, all right? You have what we call your creatives, all right? This is part number 1 of that. And then you have what we call your messaging. So this is like your ad copies, right? Your headlines, anything of that sort, right? Now, I'm going to be breaking this down into detail for you guys, just so you can understand exactly what I mean by all of this. Creatives, just to be clear, are the photos and videos you put out there to represent your company on your advertisements. So anytime you start running an ad, an appointment funnel, all right, let's just be very clear in saying over here that this is an appointment funnel. It says appointment funnel. All right, cool. Just want to clarify that. Now, anytime you're running ads, you have 2 parts. Like I said, creatives and messaging. Creatives are the photos and videos you put out there. The messaging is like the headline, the offer, the ad copy. That's what it entails of. And it could also be a part of the creative. Now, I don't want to get too confusing. Let's just keep it concise. Now, when you're running creatives, what type of creatives should you be running? What are we seeing historically work in 2026 in today's day and age? Well, the best creatives that we've seen work right now are the most authentic pictures and videos that you can represent of your company. What does that mean specifically? Well, photos, right? And let's just use this as an example. Photos of your team. All right, that's an example. All right, photos of your team. Second example, zoom in here a little bit. It would be pictures of customers. Pictures of your team, and customers. Another example of a good creative is a talking head video. You educating your customer about the common roofing cons in the industry. So educational. We notice depending on market to market, obviously some markets being more competitive, photos work amazing, videos work amazing. They're both working just as fine right now. So try either one of these. So like pictures of your team and your customers, customers in front of a home, pictures of a project you completed, right? So like project photos, anything that you can think of that is authentic essentially, all right, to keep it to the point. Messaging, again, same sort of idea, authentic. All right, let's just say your name is John and you own ABC company. So the way you want to do your ad copies in your headlines and your offers, I actually don't love offers, even though like a lot of marketers try to push for offers. We try to keep a more story-based angle. So the way we like to do it is like, hey, my name is John, I own XYZ company, and we have great quality work for fair prices. If you're somebody who has ABC problems, we'd love to help you out and guide you in the right direction. And then telling a story of one of your customers that you've helped go from like X position to Y position. Here's Susie, one of our customers who's done X, Y, and Z, and we did this for her. And then sharing that and putting a call to action at the end of it. So essentially in the messaging, describing the person's problems, circumstances, and the outcomes that they want, right? We like to describe the person's circumstances, problems, and outcomes, all right? So we call this the CPO formula. And my point with this, with the CPO formula in general, is that you want to make sure that your customer can resonate with it. It doesn't feel like it's a roofing ad, all right? Because a lot of the roofing ads are just stock photos. And again, at a deeper level, they like it and they feel good about it. People buy from the people they trust and get them the best results. And ultimately, your ads should be creating that feeling for the customer. Now, that's how I would do your ads. It doesn't need to be extremely complicated. It's not rocket science. Very simple. What's the next part to this? Well, it is your qualification process. So there's another part to this system, the ad qualification system, which is qualification. Now, qualification could look a little bit different for everyone, all right? But ultimately and fundamentally, it's pretty straightforward. You want to make sure that you have a funnel, all right? So this would be your customer journey, all right? Let me break this down for you just so you can understand. The customer journey is going to have, and mainly what we like to do in our funnels, is 2 or 3 main parts, and, well, I should say 4 main parts. And essentially, it's taking the customer from the position that they're in right now, right? So like, which is like, they just see an ad, to getting them in person to meet with you so you can ultimately close them as a customer. Now, what I like to do and what my company likes to do is we like to create landing pages. All right, we like to create 2 separate landing pages actually in the beginning. We call it landing page 1, all right, LP1, and then we call the other one LP2. All right, landing page 1, landing page 2. What's the purpose of landing page 1? Well, let's just say one of your customers, Susie, clicks on your ad. All right, she likes it, she enjoys the pictures that she's seen, right? She saw the authentic messaging, who you were, what your company stood for, and she goes on the first landing page. Cool. Purpose of landing page 1 is very, very simple. Collect information. All right, collect info. Now, why do we collect info and what kind of info do we collect? Well, we want to know, is this person legit, right? Obviously, do they have a name, a number, a valid address? Are they within our area, right? Do they need a new roof? And then, do they want to do it within a reasonable time limit, right? All those things can be asked on a survey, right? Whether they want to do a repair, a leak, right? Do they have leaks? Do they have damages? Do they want to do a replacement, etc.? Point is, collect information. Now, from the first landing page, once we collect that information, we then like to ask a qualifying question. It's a small financial qualifier, all right? I'm going to add here plus financial qualification. Apologies for my handwriting. So we ask collect information, and then we get a financial qualifier. What is our financial qualifier typically? Well, we like to ask them, if we were to move forward together and we were to, help you get your roof replaced or repaired, what is your preferred method of payment? Is it cash? Is it financing? Or is it insurance, depending on the markets? And really, I'll tell you what the purpose of that is after. All we're trying to figure out is, does this person like actually have interest? What is the level of interest? All those things. Now, there's a second landing page and it has a purpose. On the second landing page, we get our customers to request a time. All right, so they fill out the first one, they press submit, and then they go to the second one where they request a time to meet with one of your sales reps in person. The purpose of the word request, not booking, is that we want to now have somebody call them as soon as they press that request button. And even if they don't press the request button, they just fill out the first form, well, we get a notification and we call them right away. So one of the things that we do for every single one of our clients in this stage is we actually, let me put over here in the color yellow. Actually, I'll put it in this color. We actually call them. And typically, here's a tip for you in your marketing funnel, call them within 2 minutes. It is critical that you call them within 2 minutes. If you don't call them within 2 minutes, lead dies. And honestly, in a lot of cases, that's what kills a lot of roofing companies. They don't call their leads fast enough. So what's the purpose of this call? All right, because we already collected information, right? Wrong. Anybody could fill out a form, and anybody can make it seem like it's a real form. But what this call establishes is two main things. We want to make sure the person actually needs a new roof, they can actually afford one, and they want to do it within a reasonable time limit. And if you guys offer repairs, that it's a serious prospect at the end of the day, right? That's what we're trying to establish with this specific call. Now, my point is, you want to get a real person, not AI. I mean, you could try AI, but honestly, historically, we've tried it, hasn't done too well. Real person on the phone, call them, and have a conversation with them to represent your company at the highest level possible. We have trained in-house people who do this for every single one of our clients on every single appointment. If you want to see what that looks like, link in the description. You can look at our offer, see how we work. My point is, we want to call them, qualify them, see if they have actual need, and then feed them as well information and collect their data. Okay? So these are two important things that I just mentioned. So the purpose of the call is three things. Really, three main things. 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, qualify. All right, so do they need a new roof? Can they afford a new roof? Do they want to do it within a reasonable time limit? Are they the homeowner? Are both decision makers going to be present? Number 2, collect data. Well, I should preface this by saying number 2 should actually be feed resources. Feed resources. Majority of roofing companies in 2026 do not have any resources for their consumers to consume. What does that mean? Resources, send them a video of the commonly asked questions that every customer that you ever dealt with has. Prepare them for the sales process. Have your sales reps call them. Send them videos for them to watch about your company. Send them testimonials. Give them customers to call. This is called feeding them resources. You can do this however you want. This is very important that you do this on this call because this is what we call the setting call. And it is like a setting closing model. So we want to make sure that on the setting call, they're pre-framed, again, pre-framed for the actual closing. And then on the third, we want to collect data. Data for marketing, not for sales. All right? It could also be for sales. Either way, we collect that data. Now, what data are we collecting? Well, we want to see, again, based on the qualification of this customer, is this somebody we want to keep retargeting? Because, and I'm going to get into this in just a second, the second part of a properly functioning marketing system, it is going to be optimization. All right, this is extremely important for you guys to understand. What does optimization mean? So, optimization. Now, a lot of marketers throw around the term optimization and they say, oh yeah, we're optimizing for clicks, we're optimizing for more impressions. Well, guess what? None of those things matter. What you should be optimizing for is your cost. I'm going to write this down clearly. Your cost per qualified sit down. That is the only thing you should be optimizing for. How much does it cost you to sit down with a prospect, a real legitimate homeowner, and how do you multiply that at scale? That's what optimization is. Now, what we do in this optimization process is something we call pixel conditioning. Okay, pixel conditioning. How can you use pixel conditioning? What is pixel conditioning? Well, anytime a lead comes in, you have two things that could happen. You either have a good lead or you have a bad lead. Either one is fine. But what you want to do moving forward and how you react to the lead is determining your campaign's behavior moving forward, essentially. So if a lead is good, right, you want to tell the platform, hey, I like the results I'm getting, give me more of those people. Or hey, if the lead is bad, I don't like the results I'm getting, don't give me those people. So either one is fine, but you need to be able to tell the platform about that. So what is pixel conditioning? Is us essentially feeding that information to the platform. The pixel is the medium in which me as a marketer is going to communicate to the platform. It's the way that I communicate. There's no magic genie that pops out and says, hey, where's your feedback today? It's more so like something that we're using to tell Facebook and Instagram, Meta, oh, the results we're getting are good. And you can create custom audiences, you can create exclusion audiences, a lot of different things you can do with the pixel. Really conditioning it as it sounds, we're just telling the platform what is good and what is bad. All right. That's why it's critical to have a process where you're actually calling people to qualify them. And then when your sales rep go in person, make sure that you're able to get that data about the appointment, the pros and cons, and then also use that to make your advertising better. This is the difference between the roofers who are only stuck at like $100 a day in ad spend versus the roofers who are scaling to $2,000, $3,000 a day on meta ads. And that's what essentially determines who the best people are. All right, transparently. So my point is, now that you have this funnel, now you have this system, so you have your ad to lead qualification system, you've done the right ads, right? So you have the right creatives, the right messaging, you have the right qualification process, the landing pages, right? 2 separate landing pages, as well as a resource page if you'd like. That could be like a bonus for you if you want to do a resource page. Let me just add over here. This could be like a landing page 3, LP3. If you like, you can make a third landing page with resources. Typically, we just like to do a thank you page with a little bit of videos. That's what we like to do in our company. And then, again, once you do your optimization, your pixel conditioning, the last thing that remains, and this is the third thing that a properly functioning marketing system should have, is the scaling ability. All right, so scaling is the third thing that you're doing. And scaling could look different for everybody, right? Scaling for one person could mean, okay, just spend more money on ads, right? So go from $1,000 a day to $2,000 a day, or $100 a day to $500 a day, right? So it could be ad spend, right? More ad spend. Scaling for other people could mean hiring, right? So hiring an operations manager, or hiring a sales rep, or depending on what your company needs, maybe hiring more crews so you can handle more work. But my point is, this is what a properly functioning marketing system would allow you to do. Is you first have an appointment funnel that gets you qualified customers, you optimize it so you can get more of those customers, and then you scale once you have the ability to have, again, all those things in place and you're getting revenue now, okay? Now, a properly functioning marketing system in this specific phase, in the optimization phase, should be able to get you a good cost per acquisition. Typically, with our clients, we see a cost per acquisition anywhere from like $700 all the way to maybe like $1,500, $2,000, depending on the market, depending on their ticket sizes. So that being said, and when I say cost per acquisition, I mean the cost to acquire the customer, not the cost per appointment. Cost per appointment is going to be a little bit different, right? Typically, we see $200, $250 cost per appointments with this system being deployed. But long story short, my point is, if you have done things properly, you will now have a properly functioning marketing system, and you'll never have to play the guess game again that many people do in their lifetime, all right? So I hope this video is helpful. I hope this gives you an idea as to kind of like what it is that we do for our clients as well. If you actually want to get help directly with this, one of the things that we offer here at RoofIgnite is a done-for-you service. And our done-for-you service is deploying exactly what I just showed you right here. Now, obviously, the ad strategy for every person is going to be a little bit different. The market to market, we might use more videos. We might have specific scripts that we give you, right? If you have more insurance, the scripts might be a little bit different. But my point is, we will sit down with you. We will figure out what is right for your team and what you have to offer. We will then also write down the right messaging for your company. All right, this is a complete done-for-you service that we have offered. Again, there's no risk, there's no pressure. I'm just letting you know about what exists. And we build out your landing pages typically. We call every single one of our clients as leads, and we make sure that essentially the process is handled, optimization is handled, and the scaling process is smoothly done so that our clients can get more and more in terms of revenue. We have a lot of different tier plans in terms of how we work with clients, And transparently, not every single person is qualified to work with us. So you might be watching this video, you might want to be working with us, but you might not actually qualify. So if you do want to see if you qualify to work with us and you are essentially approved for our done for you service, then all you have to do is click on the link in the description, see if you qualify to work with us, and if you'd like, reach out, book a call with my team, see how that goes. Long story short though, if there's any questions, leave them in the comments below. It should be pretty straightforward. Having a properly functioning advertising system is not rocket science. And a lot of marketers make it sound like rocket science because they don't really know what marketing is at a fundamental level. Really, you just want to be able to understand people, right? And run ads to them and then do enough volume so that you reach enough people, right? So that's ad spend, doing more ads. And then, yeah, optimizing your system and scaling it at a fundamental level. I hope this video was helpful. It's been Manny Asadi here, co-founder and sales director here at RoofIgnite. And if you want to see what this could possibly look like for you, click the link in the description. If you want more videos like this, all you got to do is subscribe to our channel, like the video, and let me know if there's any questions, please. More than happy to answer them. All right, talk soon.